Well, there you go. IndiaMART, what a phenomenal journey. Started out as a B2B classified platform, is pioneering that, is the largest in the country, went in for an IPO last year. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you had invested 1 lakh rupees in the IndiaMART IPO last year, today that 1 lakh would have grown to 3.8 lakh rupees. That's the kind of money we're talking about. 1 lakh growing to 3.8 lakhs. And I'm going to be now talking to the founder of IndiaMART, Dinesh Agarwal, live right here on Startup Central. Mr. Agarwal, it's a pleasure to have you on this edition of the Startup Central. You know, you're one of the most celebrated founders that we have in the country. I know you spend a lot of time also mentoring entrepreneurs, but what you have done is also ensure that your shareholders make money along with you and along with IndiaMART. Can I first just ask you, when you look at the share price, what is going on? What is your reaction? Do you think that is factoring in whatever it is that you've been planning? Have you been having road shows, etc.? The stock is up 26% in 7 days. It's up over 60% in 60 days.
So, thank you, Nayantara, for inviting us. We do not control the prices on the street. There are many different reasons the stock might go up or go down. On our part, I think when we met with the lockdown in the end of March, we were doing fairly okay in the January, February. But then suddenly everything fell off the cliff. And we had a lot of responsibility on our shoulders because suddenly the country was locked up and a lot of healthcare and safety items were needed, which were not available anywhere else. And at that point of time, IndiaMART has to stand up and stand with its own customers and stand with the consumers and healthcare professionals. We needed to provide the safety items. So I think our main responsibility during the lockdown was to provide as much as continuity of business and as much as health and safety and food supplies that we could provide to the businesses at large across the country. So for the month of April, our traffic fell down by almost like 50%. However, as it turned out that IndiaMART was probably the only destination for many such products, and we also worked day and night to make sure that we could gather more and more supplies and more sellers from across the India, and I helped them do business while the country was under the lockdown. So I think that has helped. Obviously, employee safety and customers' priority is our first priority, and so we haven't yet gone open any of our offices. All of our employees are working from home. Imagine a company which has been working for 25 years and never had a single day of work from home suddenly got 1 week to migrate all the processes, including call center, BPO center, field sales force, everything to work from home. I think our team at IndiaMART has risen to the occasion and given their best in order to deploy the latest technology, deploy the solutions to migrate everything working from home, and fortunate enough to have the website working all the time. And now that the lockdown has started to open up, many businesses have started to realize that there are certain bad things that has happened to them. Many industries are still struggling. Many industries such as related to hospitality, related to fashion, related to food, restaurants are still struggling. But at the same time, many other industries which were dealing into safety related items, medical related item, pharmaceutical, chemical, disinfection, and food supplies have done well. So I think it is a mixed bag response. I'm happy that we have been able to live up to the expectation of our shareholders, and I will continue to do whatever it takes best for the safety of our employees and uh, the welfare of our customers, the buyers and sellers both.
You know, you're a relatively new company on the Lal Street. If I just look at the year-to-date performance of the share price, it's up nearly 80% at the time of this interview, Mr. Agarwal. You know, you clearly have worked very hard this year itself because of COVID-19. But obviously, you've done something right during COVID-19 for which the IndiaMART share price is being rewarded. Would you say that IndiaMART today is at an inflection point?
I think it is the years of putting together an ecosystem that has got certain shot in the arm because of this particular crisis. Because there are two, three things which have happened specifically. If you see, one, I guess everybody is much more comfortable today in dealing online. You know, until about 6 months ago, though video calls were there, but I'm not too sure how many times we would have done video call on a HD channel like yours. Similarly, payment mechanism have become far more easier and far more common nowadays. Similarly, people were, we were completing our 1 year of IPO in the month of July, beginning of the July, and as you know, a lot of people who are pre-IPO invested, they also have 1 year lock-in. So we were doing a lot of investor meetings. I remember one day I ended up doing almost 10 investor meetings over video call. I could not have done that if I had to travel across the world to meet investors from Hong Kong, Singapore, all the way to London and USA. So I think there has been a greater adoption of internet. There has been a greater openness to talk on telephone and to talk on online and to do business or conduct business on the video mode. And these are definitely impetus for any online business. Of course, wherever there was a community already built up, that has some, what we call a early mover advantage, because we started our collection of SMEs and products and services. As you imagine, at IndiaMART, we have 100,000 product categories. We have about 68 million products which are listed across 100,000 product categories coming from thousands of towns and cities of India. Obviously, there was some business always happening, and that is how we have been one of the only companies which have been profitable on the internet ever since. At the same time, when this online phenomenon happened, I think a lot more people wanted to join in, and most of the people are today suggesting that online is the way forward. So I guess there is definitely going to be some help which is going to come, but let us not forget that it is 6 months of pain that has already gone into the economy on the top of the last financial year, which has not been very good for the economy. So I'm sure we need to be cautious of the fact that economy is definitely going through a challenge. Yes, the stock market is trying to find the bets where they can put their money in, but at the same time, we are still seeing many cases happening on the corona, many job losses happening. So I think it is going to be a mixed bag for the next 1 year. Certain winners would emerge and certain industries would emerge. Lot of SMEs, if you see, have been facing a lot of challenges. As I said, many industries are completely out of favor currently, whether it is event-related industry or entertainment-related industry, food-related industry, fashion-related industry. So a lot of industries will go through some kind of a churn. And unlike in a people who are out of job, they will probably find another job. SMEs will also have to find another business, because if their business currently is not doing well, they will probably find another business. And we have seen so many examples. So for example, when we were looking for face shield and when we were looking for face mask and PPE kit, we went to the people who were making, for example, helmets. and said, since you make a helmet shield, can you make a safety face shield? Or we went to the women undergarment manufacturers to say if you can make a face mask, because they are probably already making a bra which is very similar to material and elastic, which is very similar to a face mask. So I think we have done our bit. Uh, the stock market is trying to do whatever they understand, but yes, it is a challenging time, and we should be working hard to make sure that our country flourishes. And then there are tensions across the world in terms of international tension, such as China and American elections and all that. So in that whole process, our PM has called for Atmanirbhar Bharat, or so I think Make in India or Atmanirbhar are probably the two sides of the same coin, and this should give us some impetus on the Make in India itself. Whereas the government in the last year has tried to reduce the income tax for the companies at 25%, as against 33% it was in the previous years for the proprietorship and partnership firm. At the same time, the manufacturing income tax has been made down. GST is also a good tax where you can trade across the borders of the state easily, and you don't have any problem. Obviously, a lot of SMEs are still finding tough to comply with the GST laws and GST processes, which government every day is trying to improve upon. And with this crisis, those things have definitely taken a beating. But I'm sure government will do everything to make sure that it is easier to do business, it is easier to do employment, and which should help everybody, including IndiaMART.
Okay, so the lot of information you have given us there, Mr. Agarwal, and we're running out of time. But what I did want to ask you is that when you live in this virtual world, and like you said, you were talking to 20 investors from Hong Kong to Singapore in one day, did your existing investors, after the lock-in, stay invested? Because that's always a good indication, right? And my other question, once again, are you at an inflection point? Do the markets know something? Are you planning some new businesses? Do you have some big growth plans going forward? Because you also talk about how business is coming back. That you saw a 50% drop, but traffic has started returning. The SMEs are trying to go back. July is believed to have been a better month than what was being expected.
Yes, so when we did our con call in July, and I was on ET Now the very next day, I think I had shared this that our monthly sales and collections, everything was almost at 2/3 of the pre-COVID levels, and it has been improving week on week ever since. One thing that you know Rahul also pointed out, that given that in the month of March and April, sudden there was a lockdown, and there was a almost 2/3 of the revenues were gone. We were very scared, and I think we have done a very good cost management in the quarter 1, and some of that cost management will probably reflect in the longer time. I had also given a guidance that probably 10% of the cost saving that could be permanent there, which would probably result into a higher profitability if our business goes back to the previous level. So if you really see, there is better adoption of internet, there is a better openness to the online and tele-based sales, and there has been some cost advantages, but all of that comes with a if that the revenues have to match up and start growing from the pre-COVID levels, which probably we will see in the time to come in the next 2 months, how the COVID itself takes turn, whether it subsides down or whether it resurfaces again, and what kind of businesses open up. Because we are just a reflection of Indian economy. There is nothing very unique that we do at IndiaMART which is not a reflection of Indian economy. So if Indian economy does well in times to come, we are definitely going to do well. Internet does well, we will do well. If online payment and online systems do well, if there is a ease of doing business, we will do well. So yes, you can say that there is a jump. There is a stock market jump in terms of buyer traffic, because from the buyer traffic perspective, we are already back to normal level for the entire quarter, and we should be seeing growth from here. So if we open up next year, maybe when COVID is completely behind us, I'm sure we will start at a much higher level from the where we left at the COVID. But monetization will continue to be monitored, whether we can do that better or in times to come.